Hi, it's Off Grid with Pete and Tonka. Sit back and relax while we cut down some mint. Tonka just said I'm full of shit. We don't have a show Off Grid, but we are going to cut down some mint. And by the way, me and Tonka, what are we doing tomorrow, Tonka? He said that we're going to go look for varnish cap mushrooms. Hemlock varnish cap. That's a reishi mushroom, right? Hey! Oh, look at that! Tonka's attacking me with this paw. That totally disrespectful. Look at him. Look at that guy. What an idiot. Tonka right behind me like this. It's kind of creepy. Look at that. It's creeping around behind my back. This is supposed to be my partner on my show, our new show. Better not try and jump on my back and do anything, Tonka. I don't cut into that crap, and you shouldn't either. You got a poodle? You got a little tiny poodle, Grandma? You're letting that poodle hump your leg? That dog is disrespecting you. You think I'd let Tonka do that? Hell no. Hell no. God damn. I haven't seen that in a long time. The last time I saw that, I mean, I've had clients tell me that their dog tried doing that, but the last time I saw that, honest God truth, it was at Chesapeake Bay. I was in Kansas City. It was probably 1983. And it was a guy, he had a big overweight Chessie. He had the dog in the backyard, and this giant Chesapeake Bay could be a I would compare, they're like the ravens of the dog world. I look over, I'm driving a cab to make money. I look over, and there's this Chesapeake Bay humping this guy, and this guy's just like, he didn't know what to do. He was lost. Dog would never try that with me. Never. If a dog's doing something like that to you, they're totally disrespecting you. You need to call somebody immediately. There is no way. You shouldn't allow it. You should have this attitude in your head. Like, I was talking to Bear's mom, and we were talking about something, and pretty much I was just saying, if the dog does something once, make sure it doesn't do it twice. You don't want to be pleading with the dog. No, no, no. You say no, it gets the no, right? Like if you say sit, and it doesn't sit, you say no, sit. It better sit. You sure as hell don't want to have to do a follow-up. So that's about you sending the correct message. The dude in Kansas City that has a Chesapeake Bay that's humping him, don't sit here and say, well, that's because the dog wasn't fixed. Listen, not all my Tonka, come here. Heel. Tonka's not fixed. Ike isn't fixed. I've never had a fixed male dog. See how Tonka sits here like worshiping me? Tonka, do you worship me? No, he's sort of disrespectful. He is. Aren't you, Tonka? Yeah, he is. Don't listen to him. Tonka is speaking telepathically to the people in Videoland. Tonka has something to say. That's right, we're going mushroom hunting tomorrow. That's correct. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, Tonka has something else he has to say. Tonka. Well, that wasn't that important. I'm not going to bring that up because we don't want to offend anybody. But oh well, I'm not going to start that. God, I want to say this. This is the truth. Okay, I'm going to say it. A dog like this, if you had him on the couch, he would be climbing all over you. Probably like the Chesapeake Bay that was humping the idiot in Kansas City. Don't let your dog on furniture. You confuse the status of the dog. They're not an equal. If the dog sees you as an equal, it might hump you. Why is that? Why is that? Think about it. Because it sees you as an equal. It's treating you like another dog. And it's treating you like it's more dominant than you. Do you see the problem? Do you understand this? Listen, in Videoland, Tonka has something else to say. Yeah, he pretty much said the same thing that I just said, that if he's up on a couch, he is going to act like a super douche. So you have problems with your dog. I'm not talking about like the dog humps grandma's leg or anything like that. I'm talking about just problems in general with your dog. Do you let it up on furniture? You're confusing the status of the dog. You're sending the wrong message to the dog. I don't get why people don't get this. It might be a little tiny dog. It could be a hunting dog that's real dominant. It doesn't matter. They're hardwired to dominate. And if it sees itself as an equal, right, that's flattering in a way. It invites us into its world. Like, look, it treats you like a dog. That's not good because he lives in a human world. I'd never let a dog hump me. It would never even come to that point. But a lot of stuff, like I would never allow get a dog in a situation where it bit someone. We have 4 million dogs dying every year. 4 million dogs are dying every year because of just utter nonsense. You want to look at the dog as a morphed little human being, but we have 4 million dying, and 4 million people equally are getting bit. Come on, spread the word. Tell people don't do that. Don't let your dog on the furniture. And if your dog is going up on the furniture, listen up. You put a leash on the dog inside the house. It's like that stupid show with that idiot Cesar Millan. He's got dogs with problems inside a house. Because you don't have a leash on him. You're not telling the owners to use a leash on the inside of the house. You don't just use a leash when you take the dog for a walk. A leash is your #1 training tool. It's not just humping, okay? There's biting. There's all kinds of bad behaviors that are related to the dog having a confused status. And if you have a real dominant dog like this, it's real easy to confuse the status of the dog. And don't think for a minute that if Tonka was castrated, that he'd be all different and real submissive. Because I'll tell you what, people, most of the dogs that are biting are castrated or spayed. Doesn't have much to do with that. If you don't want your dog to bite, train it and treat it like it's a dog. What do you smell, Tonka? Tonka's on the prowl. I gotta go see what he's doing. He might I don't know. There's chipmunks. Leave the chipmunks alone, dude. I love chipmunks. I love them, man. They're cute as shit. There's 2 of them that are living in my front yard, and they fill up their cheeks with stuff from the neighbor's bird feeder. And then he comes over earlier, and he just stops and he looks at me, and I'm like, come on, dude, go to your hole. I'm not gonna stop you. Just stop for a second, and then he He's my pal. I love him. If they wanted to live in my house, they could. Rats and mice, different story. But if it was just 1 or 2 chipmunks, you can live here. You can live here. I can't have a chipmunk living in my house. I'd have to live trap it, but yeah, they could live there. I would just act like I wouldn't treat them like pets. Oh, those are the chipmunks. I'd treat them like their neighbors. I wouldn't be letting it, like, you know, crawl up on me and dominate me like Tonka would try. Tonka, get out of that now! Sit! This guy, if you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Won't you, Tonk? Okay, here's the pawpaws the next day. See how they're spreading apart? I'm still not convinced that this still might abort. It's a very young tree. But it is nice to see that it's still on, but I'm still not convinced. Here's the pawpaws a few days later. I'm still not convinced that they will not abort. They probably will. If they're going to abort, they're probably going to abort tomorrow. If they don't abort tomorrow, they might abort the next day. I'm trying to be realistic here. It's a very young tree. It looks good so far. It doesn't look like it. It'll start looking bad at the stem. You know, it looks sort of okay. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe not this year. Maybe some other time this tree will have pawpaws. There they are. They're growing. There's my baby pawpaws. It looks like I have pawpaws this year for the first time. This one is staying on. It does not look like they're aborting. It could. I'm still not totally convinced. I could wake up tomorrow and they could be off. But it is on. Looks like there will be 3. Like I said, unless it falls off, and I hope it doesn't. I still have a tree out front. It's been about 4 days or something, and the baby pawpaws are still on. Now, as I remember last year, as soon as I saw the baby pawpaws, they aborted after, like they were on there for a day, maybe 2, and then I just came out and they had dropped to the ground. They look different than they did last year. I might have pawpaws on this tree, and I got a bug on my back. It's like, get out of here, bug. I have a tree in the front that just, it still has flower. It's the oldest tree that I have. It still has petals on the flowers. They haven't dropped, and the stems are looking real good. And also I noticed on that tree, the leaves aren't real big. I'm thinking that thing might try and push out some fruit too. I hope. Do you know how many years this has been? I wanna get these baby pawpaws on video here, just in case. I'm telling you, 2 more days and I'm gonna be out here with a shotgun. I'm gonna put some kind of fence around this. Go get some. There was something in the tree last night eating a leaf, and the leaves are poisonous. I don't know what it would be. See the little black, like it looks like scat? Something was eating that leaf and dropping scat. Would that be a bug? Do bugs do that? Those leaves are not, those are toxic. I don't know what would have been eating that. But I'm worried. I'm worried about the baby pawpaws. I don't know, maybe that's bug scat. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I just came out here and I noticed that, and there was like part of the leaf on that leaf that has the scat or whatever that is. Like what is that? I don't get it. So there's the baby pawpaws. See how they're spreading apart like that? Man, I might have pawpaws this year. I might only have a few. You know, I'll tell you what, if they even go for like a month and some animal gets I'm not gonna be bummed out, because I know that this tree will produce pawpaws. That it's at an age where I can start getting pawpaws on it. We'll give it another day or 2. And if it's still looking good, then I was thinking I'll put some fencing around the base here, and maybe even a little sheet metal to keep, you know, something from crawling in. I mean, it's insane. They're just 2 little baby pawpaws, and I'm making a big deal about this. It's not that big of a deal. If the tree in the front has some baby pawpaws like that, which, you know, we'll know if the petals drop, if that's going to happen, then I won't have to protect this tree so much. I think the first year that tree flowered, that'll be the third year that it's flowered. But there's never really been anything to pollinate it. This year, I have 3 trees. Well, I have more than 3 trees that flowered, but 3 trees that are sort of to the point where they might be able to hold fruit. This one could hold just a few. It's very small. It's very small. Say hello, Tonka. How you doing, Tonk? And then the tree in the front, that thing's really beefed out. I planted that the same time that I planted this tree, and it didn't get mowed over. This thing, it got mowed over, and I thought it was dead, and then like a year later I saw a little bit, and it didn't do anything. You could just see a little green. So this is like 2 years behind, but it's actually taller than the tree in the front yard. The tree in the front yard is about the same height, but it looks different. I mean, the bark, it's got like bark on it, you know, it's older looking, and it's more stout and sturdy looking. So it could probably hold more than like this one. I don't have too many problems with it holding 3 pawpaws, the ones that I'm gonna protect with my life. I want fucking fruit on my pawpaw trees. I have so many pawpaw trees. I just want a few to start fruiting. That's it. Tonka understands, don't you, Tonk? He's the most obnoxious dog I've ever known, Tonka. He is. He can work all day. Get off me, dude. No, sit. So he's sitting right in front of me. He would climb up in my lap if he could. This is a perfect example of a dog. All dogs do lousy on furniture. It confuses their status. He would be horrible. Like sleeping in a bed or something? No fucking way. For a pawpaw tree to fruit, it has to be 6 feet tall. Has to be, or it won't fruit. I first heard this from the guy at Edible Landscaping. He told me that, and I was in disbelief, but it's exact magic number. You have to have 6 foot, or they don't fruit. It doesn't matter how bushy it is. It has to be 6 foot. This one is fruiting. This one's over 6 foot. I have fruit on it. It's awesome. If you want to get your pawpaw trees up to 6 feet quicker, I recommend pruning them. Prune those lower branches. I did not do that with this one, but this one got pruned real heavy. I got run over by a tractor. And I didn't see it doing shit. This is true. I didn't see it doing shit for like one summer. It got like nothing, and then the second summer it only got like this big. And I protected the crap out of it. But this one is fruiting, but it is above 6 foot. If you want to get them up to 6 feet, trim the lower branches. Check it out, my baby pawpaws are still alive. They still might abort. What the hell was that? I keep hearing stuff happening in my barn. Here's the pawpaws. There's only 2 now. Either a rodent came and ate one, or it aborted the one. It's a small tree, so it very well could have just aborted it. I'll see that on my peach trees sometimes. They'll just, you know, make them drop. But clearly, this is a fruiting tree. This is 2 pawpaws. It's looking real good. Looking real good. So next year, I'll have more than 2 or 3. This tree's doing great. This is mint. I put it in a few years ago, and it really takes off. I knew this when I put it in. I just put in a couple plants, and it's taken out a whole area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dry some. I'm gonna snip it with some scissors. These are filthy, by the way. Look at that. It's got all kinds of glue and fur on there. How would fur get on scissors? That's disgusting. But I'm gonna use these. And then I have some 50-pound fishing line. I'm just gonna tie it up in a bunch and hang it. That's how I'm gonna dry it. This stuff is delicious. A lot of times I'll use this in place of like basil. I know, it's not the same thing. I know that it's not. There's no substitution for basil, but I will. I'm not saying that I'd make a pesto out of mint and using walnuts instead of pine nuts. I'm not saying but I'm not saying I won't either. It's not a bad idea. I might do that. Could work. It could work. Now, by the way, I have one recipe. Write this down. This is awesome. This is great. And it's using mint. It's for pork loin on the barbecue. You get a pork loin, you put it on the barbecue, and what you baste it with is mint, olive oil, garlic, lemon, and salt. It's delicious. You cook it on the barbecue pit, and I'm telling you, it's delicious. I just have it on a plate with a knife on it. I'll just slice them off for like 2 days. Now to dry this, and by the way, you can use Cross and Blackwell's makes a mint sauce like in a bottle. I think it's Cross and Blackwell, something like that. Or you can use, I'll do that, and I'll add dried mint or fresh mint. Sometimes I'll throw the fresh mint on the fire. I'm telling you, it's real good. So I'm just gonna clip this down real fast. So I'm just gonna take this fishing line. I had some yarn in there. This seems like it's more sanitary. Could you rinse it off? Yeah, I guess you could. Am I gonna rinse it off? No, probably not. I'll walk by and just grab a leaf and eat it. I don't give a shit. I'll pull shit off of a tree and eat it too. I'm not saying that well, this year I am sort of using some insecticide, but I'll go to the grocery store and I don't wash fruit. It's a problem. That's why I started buying my fruit frozen, because it's pre-washed. If I'm in my yard, I know if pesticide's been used, what it is, and if it's safe to eat. If it's not safe to eat, I'm not gonna eat it. So here it is. So just hang it up like this, let it dry, and there you go, simple as that. You don't need a dryer, you kidding me? Might even make beef jerky like this. Just hang it up, salt it, some flies get on it, brush the flies away, let it dry out and start eating it. We're off the grid. This is me and Tonka. Tonka, get over here. It's my new show with Tonka, I forgot. Tonka, heel. Come on, brother. It's Off Grid with Peter and Tonka. It's my new show. We're drying mint today. Tonka, say something for the cameras. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't need to. Right, Tonka? He speaks telepathically to me. He said, yes, that's correct. Mint. It'll take over your garden. You gotta cut it at some point. You gotta cut that shit back. This will make it even grow more. I just let it dry there on that rusty nail. It'll be fine. If it rains or something, maybe I'll take it inside. I could use a fan too. I might take it and lay it on the top of a box fan and turn it. That's how I dry a lot of stuff, is using a box fan. But this should work. I'll pull it out a little bit from the wall. I have heard that garlic, will keep vampires away. Everybody's heard that garlic will keep vampires away. I have heard that mint will keep the Dogman away. They can't stand the smell of this shit. Can't stand it. Get out of here, Dogman. Or vampire, man, can you imagine? A race of aliens comes to the planet to mine keratin. So they're just taking us for our hair and shit. They want our hair. And look at mine. Mine's fucking awesome. Could be a problem. Could be a problem. You know, like they want our fingernails or some shit. Like the aliens have us living in like, well, they're like chairs, but there's like also like a toilet. You're sitting on a toilet essentially, and they give you like an IV and you're fed food through a tube, and they just keep taking our fingernails and our hair. Is it gonna happen? It could. I'm telling you, it could. It could. Somebody's gonna have to be in charge of the humans. I cut everybody a good deal. I'll try to. They're gonna want my hair though. It's gonna be a problem. My hair is probably like why they would come. You know, look at Caine on Earth. He has that fucking hair. We gotta go down there and get his hair. That's what's gonna happen. You all will probably be fine. They'll just come for me and then I'll disappear. Well, you know where I am. They're just, giving me all kinds of great food and shit. But they come in every 3 weeks and cut my hair. Could happen. Anything's possible.